bless you, God. Come on, lift it up your mouth and bless his name. He's worthy of all the glory, the honor, and the praise. You can stand on your feet and get your Bibles in your hand. Numbers chapter 11. Numbers chapter number 11. When you have it, say amen.
Amen.
Numbers chapter 11, starting at the first verse. I'm also giving honor to God who is the head of my life, to my pastor, Reverend Langley, to Minister Dow, everyone in their respective places. Let us pray. Most kind God, we come telling you thank you. Speak to us right now, oh God. Move me out of the way, God, that they may see you and not me. Let your glory fall in this place. Even now, it is your servant's prayer in Jesus' name I do pray. Amen. And it reads, starting at the first verse, Numbers chapter 11. And when the people complained, it displeased the Lord. And the Lord heard it, and his anger was kindled. The fire of the Lord burnt among them and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp. Jump down to verse number 4. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting. And the children of Israel also wept again and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? Remember the fish which we did in Egypt freely? Which we did eat in Egypt freely. The cucumbers, the melons, and the leeks, and the onions, and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There was nothing at all beside this manna before our eyes. Jump down to verse number 18. And say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh, for ye have wept in the ears of the Lord, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt, therefore the Lord will give you flesh. And ye shall eat, verse number 19, ye shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days, but even a whole month, until it come out of your nostrils, and it be loathsome unto you, because that ye have despised the Lord which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came we forth out of Egypt? I'm going to hang my hat at verse number 18. And say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves again tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh. For ye have wept in the ears of the Lord, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt, therefore the Lord will give you flesh, and ye shall eat. Find you a good neighbor and say, neighbor. Neighbor. The preacher wants to preach from the thought.
The preacher wants to preach from the thought.
No time to look back.
No time to look back.
That's the wrong neighbor. Find another neighbor and say, neighbor. Neighbor. There's no time to look back.
No time to look back.
You may be seated in the presence of the Lord.
Come on now.
Work on it, preacher.
Today, if we were to take inventory over our personal and spiritual lives, I believe a good portion of us, if not all, we will be able to attest to the fact that oftentimes we spend too much time dwelling on what God has brought us from. We dwell on what we used to do, where we used to go, and who we used to be. But do understand, my brothers and sisters, the issue is not when we retrospect over life as it relates to what God has done in our lives. The issue is not when we retrospect where God has brought us from. The issue is not when we look at how many times God has made ways out of no way. But for some of us, when we journey down memory lane, we tend to get sidetracked. We get off focus. We get beside ourselves and we begin to give the enemy too much room to come in. If I were to be honest, all of us are guilty of giving the enemy too much credit. You know how we insinuate everything is the devil. If we get up out of bed and stump our toe on the bed, that's the devil. If we forget to get groceries at the grocery store, that's the devil. If somebody asks us to do something, we say they out of their mind, that's the devil. We simply give the devil too much credit. And when we journey down the chapters of life and we begin to scroll down memory lane, we go down who I used to be Boulevard and make a left on where I used to go Avenue. You know when you were the first one in the club and the last one to leave, or how you used to drop it down low in the club. Because truth be told, all us won't always dancing with you. Or how you would cuss somebody out just for looking at you the wrong way. And I just want to pause and take a brief commercial break there and ask, is there anybody in the sanctuary on tonight who can say, I haven't always been on the Lord's side. I haven't always crossed every T and dotted every I. But one day Jesus decided to reach way down in the mortar clay to pick me up, turn me around, and place my feet on a solid ground. And that's why I praise him like I do. Not because, but despite of what I used to do and where I used to go and who I used to be. I can't help but praise his name because he looked beyond all my faults and saw my needs. That's why I like when the Apostle Paul picks it up in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 13. He says, no test or temptation that comes your way is beyond the course of what others have had to face. All you need to remember is that God will never let you down. He'll never let you be pushed past your limit. He'll always be there to help you come through it. To sum it up, he'll never put more on you than you can bear. That's why it does not matter what the devil has thrown your way, you can get out of it. It does not matter the situation that you got yourself into, you can get out of it. It does not matter the traps that have been set up for you, because God will provide a way of escape and you can get out of it. Because to every temptation, to every shortcoming, to every trap, God will provide a way of escape. That's why you can't get stuck on past decisions that you made that were not sound decisions. Past hurt from family members who stabbed you in your back. Friends who proved themselves to be phony. Because everything that the devil meant for your bad, God will work it out for your good. That's why the abusive relationship didn't kill you. That's why what they said about you didn't destroy you. Because what they thought was a setup really was a setback for a major comeback. Tell your neighbor, it was a setback for a major comeback. Work on it. Pray for me. And is there anybody here this evening at Rivers of Life who can declare with me? That's why I praise him like I do. That's why I holler like I do. That's why I clap my hands like I do. Because every time I turn around, he keeps making a way over and over again. Reverend Timothy Rock picked it up and said, trouble don't last always. And that's why I have to praise him, because he's done so much for me. And I can't speak for anybody else, but I don't have time to keep looking back trying to figure out where things went wrong. I don't have time to keep looking back trying to see who did me wrong. I don't have time to keep looking back trying to see who did this and who did that. But I must continue to press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Let me slow down and remind you. Preach on, preacher. There's no time to look back, because sometimes when you look back and you look back too long, you begin to reminisce so hard that you begin to miss the old you. You know how it is when you have that good memory that comes along. And somebody comes along and they see you zoned out. They'll say something like, you must be thinking about something real good, because you look like you was in a deep zone. But don't get stuck there. But the good news is it's all right to retrospect every now and again. So you can remember where God has brought you from. Just don't get stuck. Give your neighbor a high five and say, neighbor, don't get stuck there. There's no time to look back, because sometimes when you look back and you look back too long, not only can you have a relapse in desire to go back to the old you, but you will begin to battle in your mind, God, am I worthy to be used for your glory? You will begin to battle and question your authenticity in God. You will begin to question what is it that God has placed on the inside of you. And after a while, because you question yourself so long, you will get discouraged and begin to doubt yourself. And you'll begin to talk yourself out of your promise. All right. The last reason, as I hasten to a close. Yes, sir. Well, there's no time to look back. It's because you'll just simply go back to the old you. So after you reminisce long enough, you'll begin to doubt yourself. You'll begin to second guess your call and your authenticity in the Lord. And after you went through the reminiscing long enough, you just simply have what we know as a relapse and turn to the old you. You start back doing the old things of the world. You start back acting on old feelings and desires. All because you look back too far. But I wouldn't be a good preacher if I didn't stay true to the text. Here it is, after God has delivered the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt and from under Pharaoh's grip in the book of Exodus. The Israelites have survived all 9 of the plagues that God had sent to Egypt because of Pharaoh's disobedience. The Israelites have survived the death of the firstborn by taking heed to the instruction that God gives Moses to put the blood of the Passover lamb on the doorpost, and he would pass over. The Israelites have experienced being led out of Egypt with the Red Sea in front of them and their enemies behind them. And God parts the Red Sea and allowed them to walk through on the other side on dry ground. The Israelites have experienced God in the wilderness, where God was a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. And after all that God has done for the Israelites, here it is in the text, Numbers chapter 11. We see the Israelites complaining to Moses. They begin to complain to Moses because they have looked back on where God has brought them from. And the Israelites say to Moses, Moses, who shall give us meat to eat? Moses, why do you have us out here with only bread to eat? When we were in Egypt, we had Outback Steakhouse. We had Golden Corral. We had Cracker Barrel. And we could eat anytime we got good and ready. And now you get us out here with just bread to eat on this extended stay camping trip in the wilderness. So God gets angry and gives them what they want. Even in their complaining, God still provides what it is that they earnestly desire. And as I close, I just want to tell somebody, be careful how you look back, because when you look back and you look back too long, God will give you what you want and cause the very thing that you want to be your downfall. So the next time you decide to look back, but don't get stuck on what you used to do, where you used to go, and who you used to be. You remember in the book of Genesis, chapter number 19, when God was getting ready to judge Sodom and Gomorrah, he sent 2 angels and they went to Lot's house and they told Lot that the outcry has grown great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord sent them to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. So the angels told Lot, get all your family that was in the city and leave. But his daughter's husbands thought he was joking, and when the morning came, they urged Lot to hurry and take his wife and his 2 daughters. So the angels brought Lot and his family outside of the city. Had to escape for your life. Lot ran to the city of Zoar. But while en route to the city, his wife decided to look back, and she was turned into a pillar of salt. Simply because she looked back. I gotta leave you now. Good day. Very well. I came to tell somebody, don't look back, because when you look back and you look back too long, you'll find yourself becoming a victim to your past. But I stopped by to tell somebody that God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask of me. And say, neighbor, now is not the time for you to look back. Now is not the time for you to give up now. But neighbor, I refuse to let you stay where you are. I'm bringing you with me, because I'm not looking back. And not only am I not looking back, but while I'm pressing towards the mark of the high calling, which is in Christ Jesus, I got joy, and this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world can't take it away. I like to tell somebody, when you got something that the world didn't give to you, and the world You hold on. You hold on. You hold on. You can make a hurt God and say, amen. You hold on. But if you hold on, sooner or later, my God is able to do just what he said. He's not a man that he should lie. He is the son of man, or the son of man that he shall repent. But I'm glad that I serve this God who's worthy of all the glory. He's worthy of all the honor. No time to look back. Give your neighbor count time for the last time and say, neighbor, no time to look back. Why don't you grab somebody, shake them and rock them and shake them, and say, you don't know what the Lord has done for me. What the Lord has done for me. He woke me up this morning, started me on my way, food on the table, hands on my back, money in my pocket. He's great, waiting to be praised from the rising of the sun to the going down of the saints. He's worthy, and because he's worthy, I can say, I'm ready, all right. He talks with me, and he tells me, I am his own. And when you belong to the Lord, you can look the devil square in the face and say, what I got, you can't have it. What I got, you can't take it. What I got, you can't destroy it. With this joy. This joy that's on the inside of me make me want to live life when everybody around me is living hell. This joy. Open up your mouth and bless his name. Put your blessed hands together. Bless his